Welcome to the Mind Life channel. This is John, and I'm here to walk you through this week's video. And we are talking about understanding trauma. The Mind Life channel investigates all of our thoughts, identifies who we are. It untangles them so we can unearth new wisdoms. Trauma is a term that we all know of, and yet, do we truly understand its significance, particularly when we're at the mercy of our anxieties? And this video will talk about trauma in a way to help those who are going through it, to make sense of it, in order to find resolutions. And for those who don't experience trauma, to gain a wider perspective of thought, to understand how easy trauma can impact anybody in life. And this is what the Mind Life channel sets to achieve: positive mental health, fostering growth, understanding the wide paradigms of our thought and knowing what impacts us. To support the channel, please press the like button, subscribe to the Mind Life channel, leave your comments and click the notification bell to be aware of future videos. This is Understanding Trauma, and I look forward to seeing you on our next journey. If we consider one of the mysteries in life, it's a force that lingers in us, but will reappear without force and present itself in the obscurest of ways. It is something that cultivates our anxieties into a form we may not truly understand. And even when we claim we do, we struggle to make full sense of it. I'm talking about trauma. This video will reveal trauma in a way to help those who may struggle with it, so they can comprehend the normality of their feelings. And for those who don't, to understand how it could affect anybody. It will also provide some strategies on how we can manage our way through trauma and to still live a very worthy life. So how do we define trauma? As we journey through our lives, we are constantly surveying our safety, where we develop a line between what excites and what threatens us. And what plays a role is a central part of our brains, as it plays a major part in our emotional learning by processing the emotional significance of what happens around us. And it does this by placing emotional value to each of our experiences, so it leaves an imprint in our memories. After all, it is our emotions that is key to how we learn and become influenced. And this learning is implicit, meaning it occurs even without us knowing. When we think about trauma and how our minds magnify these experiences, these aren't always single events such as an accident or a tragic occurrence. They can also be discrete instances where we have felt abandoned and mistreated, that have stayed neglected, repressed and misunderstood in our psyches over a period of time, even since our childhood. So when we struggle to ascertain our levels of comfort, we tend to become confused and threatened, where our body reacts in fear, where we are forced to continue life without any proper assimilation of what this is. And these feelings appear to us in obscure ways. We may hear the familiar sound of a school bell that reminded us of an unfavourable time in the playground, or even when we are at peace. But when we hear a constant catchphrase or a word in a conversation, they will bring us back to when we were scolded by one of our parents. What is then the solution to this dilemma of trauma? By a process of developing the courage to take notice and evaluate ourselves and what is around us. For when we are in the bounds of a disturbing experience, we can assess its context, not rush into fixing the problem, but to develop an understanding of it for the moment that it was, and to allow ourselves the opportunity to work through it and examine an outcome rationally. We can over time develop a skill to hone our feelings and develop new wisdoms, knowing these sensations will not harm us. It is only our interpretation of them. Take each of these sensations in singularity, stripping it from its mystery and building our resilience in the same process. In normality, we are at the mercy of our thoughts, but in trauma, we are also in the mercy of our perspective.